Welcome to the pop culture news here on The Experience. Now, there's not a lot of news today because of San Diego Con and all the big announcements and stuff. Things have slowed down just a little, but we do have enough stuff that we can fill the time. So let's jump right in. It's been a long time since it was originally announced, and I had almost forgotten about the fact that we were supposed to get we were supposed to get a Lando Calrissian series. We weren't 100% sure who was going to lead it, but it looks like the original director, the planned director for it, Justin Simeon, it says it's done. It was going to be Donald Glover, and that the project's not moving forward at this point. And it wasn't for the lack of effort. According to Simeon, it says it was pretty developed. There was a Bible, there was a concept art, there were scripts, but it just wasn't meant to be. Now, Simeon was out talking about his upcoming docuseries, Hollywood Black, which is based on the book by Donald Bogle, which examines race and representation in Hollywood when the question came up. And he was also at San Diego Con, where he was talking about how he's a recurring character on Lower Decks and how he is one of the people working on the live action Star Trek comedy. So at least we know where he's going to now since the Lando series is not happening. He went on to say, for me, it has to be done pretty straight on. Like, I'm in grief. I do not feel good. I have to let myself feel those things. There's so much that I experience that I get to keep forever and take into the next project. I can't obviously take the storyline or the IP or the character, but there's so much more that I got as a maker, and that's mine. Sorry, it's too late. You can't take that part back. Now, Glover, of course, first appeared as Lando in Solo, a Star Wars story. And in 2020 is when they made the initial announcement that there would be a Lando series coming to Disney Plus. But now that that's no longer happening, like I said, Simeon can focus on his Star Trek comedy series. The contraction of streaming services is continuing. It has begun. Something like this was bound to happen when you get all those different. You got Disney Plus, you got Max, Paramount Plus, Apple Plus, Peacock, and on and on and on. And then a lot of like smaller services, more specialized, and all of them are out spending money and whatnot. Well, Warner Brothers is going to shut down and fold content from Boomerang. Didn't even know Boomerang had its own streaming service, but it's going to be moved into Max. Now, this includes many of the classic cartoon series that were on there, along with some of the kids and family friendly programming. The move is set to happen as of September 30th. Earlier this year, Paramount Global did the same thing with Noggin, which moved most of its contents to Paramount Plus. According to the WBD, the plan is for anyone who currently has a Boomerang membership that goes on past September 30th, they will be switched to an ad-free tier of Max at no extra charge, which is a great deal because Boomerang is a $6 a month thing, and that particular tier of Max is $17. But when their current upage runs out, then it'll go back to the normal subscription price. So keep an eye on that if you are someone who subscribed to Boomerang. And if you are someone who subscribed to Boomerang, I'd like to know who you are because I'm really curious why. Now, this has not been a good week for Doctor Who. First off, the BBC had to temporarily remove an episode from the second season starring David Tennant and Billie Piper called Fear Her, which uses a voiceover of TV presenter, news presenter Hugh Edwards. Edwards is a disgraced news presenter who pleaded guilty to indecent child image charges this week. Now, the segment is being redubbed and will be returned to the BBC iPlayer shortly. This was followed by them having to remove a 6-year-old charity advert when it was discovered to contain the now 17-year-old Axel, this is going to be a tough one, Ruda Cubana, the suspect charged with 3 counts of murder and 10 counts of attempted murder following an attack in northern England on July 29th. This took place at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class where the three young girls died and several more were left critically injured. Ruta Cubana was age 11 when he appeared dressed as the 10th Doctor and stepped out of the TARDIS in a spot meant to raise money for children in need. While these horrific situations are otherwise unrelated, the fact that the BBC had to deal with both of those in the same week is quite bizarre. All right, got a little spoiler warning for you if you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine. Cover your ears for a second. But with his appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine, Wesley Snipes takes 2 records away from other Marvel actors, according to Guinness World Records. With his return as Blade, it marks the 26th year since his first solo outing as the Daywalker, which beats out his co-star Hugh Jackman for the longest career as a live-action Marvel character. A title Jackman was expected to finally hold on his own, passing Patrick Stewart. They both started at the same time. Now, the second record Snipes now holds is the longest gap between character appearances. He's passed Alfred Molina, who was at 17 years when he appeared in Spider-Man No Way Home after originally debuting in Spider-Man 2. And while many expect Jackman to return again for the upcoming Avengers Secret Wars, which would take the record back. Now, Snipes should be able to retain the second one, at least for a while. I don't know many other actors who have been out there long enough that their return, I mean, maybe Chris Christopherson as Whistler? Okay. In 2015, after the cancellation of Ash vs. Evil Dead, actor Bruce Campbell announced that he was retiring from playing the chainsaw-wielding Ash Williams. At least in live action, that is. While promoting his upcoming series Hysteria, Campbell revealed, "We are developing an animated version, like a series. I'll do that. I'll do Ash's voice all day long because his voice hasn't aged as much as I have, or my voice hasn't aged as much as I have." He went on to talk about the advantages of the new concept. He said, "We're out of the cabin. Sam doesn't have to direct. I don't have to star as Ash. The trick is to take the elements that people like, which is innocent people being tortured by a malicious entity, and it's people who have no skill to stop it." Now, the character of Ash has been working in comics for quite so many years, thanks to Dynamite Entertainment, so animation seems like a good fit for him. Okay, Deadpool and Wolverine is continuing to do extremely well at the box office, leading this week with 97 million, taking its domestic total to 395.6 million, and its global total to 824 million. That has already pushed past the total box office for Deadpool 1, 783 million, and Deadpool 2 at 786 million, and it doesn't appear to be slowing down. It's currently the second highest global release for 2024, just behind Inside Out 2, which recently pushed Avengers off the top 10 all-time list. With both films being Disney, the studio is the first to pass the $3 billion mark for the year. Now, Deadpool and Wolverine has the potential to hit the $1 billion in the next 2 weeks, and there are only 2 contenders that might slow it down in the month of August. One is Borderlands, which may do well, but video games adaptations are kind of iffy. And then, of course, we have Alien Romulus, the new Alien franchise, new entry in the Alien franchise. But the problem is that's only getting a limited release. So I expect Deadpool and Wolverine to keep chugging along. And finally, our last news story for the day, Lionsgate is furthering expanding the John Wick universe. Now, we know that there's going to be the ballerina, and we know there's going to be the spin-off series starring Donnie Yen, I believe it is, the main character from, or the other hitman from John Wick 4. But this new thing is called John Wick Under the High Table, and it's a television series being produced by star Keanu Reeves and director Chad Stahelski. Stahelski is also set to direct the pilot episode. It's going to be written by the Old Man creator Robert Levine or Levin, and it's the story. The story that's going to take place picks up directly after the end of John Wick Chapter 4. Wick has left the world of the High Table in a tenuous position, and a collection of new characters will look to make the name for themselves, while some of the franchise stalwart characters remain committed to the old world order. Now, currently, Reeves is attached as an executive producer with no acting component. He is said to be very hands-on with the project, which is being shopped in what is shaping up to be a very competitive situation. So I don't know if we'll see him back as John Wick, but he will be involved. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the news today. Please stick around. We've got Minute to Skim It, Mint Hunter, and Kicking It with Henri. And have yourself a good rest of your day. See you soon.